Hello and welcome to the Sploder tutorial. This is on the physics creator, and on the previous part, on the previous annotation tab, I created this space with a custom background and cloud, and now this play area as well. So what we're going through is how to create your own custom background, and this time now we're going to I'm going to start I'm actually going to start to do a different game mode available on here. So let's create another level so we can come back to this. We're going to use the custom background skill. Now I'm going to skip me creating the custom background simply because you've already watched it. And if you're wondering how to do a custom background, make sure you go on the previous part. So what this tutorial is going to be about is we're going to be creating a 2D based game. This is what I call the bird's eye view. So it can be like in the form of a maze game where there's no gravity. It's seen as you looking down, like a Pac-Man kind of environment rather than a Mario going left and right. This one's all round. So we're going to be using the mover and the slider rather than the jumper. So I'm going to create a custom background for this 2D game. It could be any background you want. So in this case, I'm going to do a funky maze game. So let's see what background I come up with. Alright, so we're back. So I have created this very quick custom background here, and as you see, it is very funky. So it may not work in terms of showing the game, but in this case, I'm going to have the game kind of layered on top of this background. So I'm going to make a small maze game, and on this maze game, it's going to be just simply just to find your way here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create this play area zone here. Now this is something what's never really been done on Sploder as much, so it's kind of unique to me teaching you this. But what we're going to do, we're going to create like this black box. Now this black box will be like the featured kind of game area now. Just make it fancy as you want. Now it's a different way of doing this, but this will be our border where the player cannot touch it in a way. Let's have the play area a bit of a boring grey here, just because. Let's create the maze very quickly. So I'm just going to literally draw lines here and there, colouring them in. But I'm just demonstrating here how you can make a 2D game and kind of teaching you the physics, so you could probably do it yourself for whatever game. And it is a popular way, of course, like for Pac-Man or different game modes there. So let's create our character. Now our character is going to be a little. Let's have a little circle. Of course, remember, I always forget to set this to, in this case, it'll probably be that one. And this is something to remember now. Remember, first of all, you pass through layers. Of course, in this case, we'll be selecting the middle square and the character. You want to pass through layer A. In this case, remember, this is one of the most important things about making a 2D creator. We are not using the jumper because it's 2D. We're using the mover and the slider, meaning it goes left and right. Now, as you can see, it did kind of flip out there. This is simply because, at the moment, I'm guessing, because the other thing is not set, because this outer box is not set. Now, you can set that to pass through, but the other thing is, as you can see, that would happen. So we can set that up a bit differently. If you do get that problem and you want to resolve it, it might just be that I have to build the sides literally from scratch, as you can see, like here. And this then could lead to many game ideas. As you see on my account on Sploder, I have created a game, 2D game, where you're not allowed to touch the sides, and it's like a little maze. So that's something you could do, and I'll probably lead on to that idea, but it seems like we haven't done much yet. So let's just quickly set this character up. So we've actually got a figure to look at. Let's make him, let's say, slightly orange and stick him with 2 eyes. Alright, so we've got our character here. Now, of course, it does fall down at the moment, so that is something what you need to change straight away. And I know I did teach you it right at the beginning, but remember, you have to set your playfield settings up first. So I've just deselected that simply because now I don't want him to fall through just like that. It will bounce off this black border. And of course, gravity is something we want to take off in this case. So gravity is now unselected. Now, here's one thing to remember. If, with it being a custom background and you can't unselect something to get to its options, click on the draw tool and then go back to this, as it automatically deselects. So as you can see now, we finally got the character to move, and there's different settings to stop him bouncing about a bit. But in this case, we've got a movable character. Now we're just going to stick a coin on. Just so now we've got an objective for this episode. So let's just quickly type in fact, we could just use the default coin. We'll just use whatever this is, just to speed up the process. And of course, remember, selecting them both, you want to click it on a sensor layer, so they both score in this case. So in this case, let me just try that again. I use a pass-through layer. That's the only thing about doing custom background. Sometimes it's a bit of juggling around to do, just to get something done. Okay, so that's settings, fine, and this one, let's deselect that simply because we don't want two scores, and that's fine as well. Okay, so we've now got a basic kind of a mazy game, or just a 2D game, where we have to just get the coin, and of course you can make the coin disappear. There's all them physics around that. So what we've basically done on this part is make a custom background, which I taught you on the last part. Again, if you don't know how to do, go back to the last tutorial. And we've also gone through kind of the physics on making a 2D game, like a bird's eye view, and this can lead on to quite a good game idea here, and it is a pretty good game idea. Quite cute as well. We could do different mazes, and there's so many different ideas around this what you could do, and it's quite unique how we've got the custom background behind as well. Something you never really see on Sploder in terms of a 2D kind of theme game. So making a game like this, making it a little bit harder, of course, can make the game quite popular if you get it right. And I'm very quickly just going to teach you how to make it a little bit harder using the sensor options here. We're going to make it so you cannot touch the sides of it at all. Now this is very good. This is going to be very quick. So what you want to do, holding the shift key, click all the sides what the character can touch. Of course, remember not to click the coin or the background, because your character never touches that. On here, we're going to put the sensor layers on. Now, in this case, we'll use this one. Remember, now it is important not to have. It is important not to have the coin. Sorry, not to have this character score a point when he hits the coin, because in this case, as hopefully I did set it. Yep. Because in this case, he has the same sensor, meaning he could censor this outline and it can also censor the coin. So in this case, we're going to have it so the character loses a life when it hits a sensor. Now, no, sorry, we're going to have it so try not to deselect it. We're going to have it so every background has the sensor of when on sensor, so meaning when it hits the character, it loses a life. But in this case, let's do end game, so it just instantly loses all life. So meaning now it ends the game instantly when I land. Of course, to make it a bit cleaner, just adjust the goals to a 1, so it is possible there. So as you can see now, what you have to do is a game of control, not only the maze. And of course, this one may be a little too hard, but it is a very good game, kind of genre to go down, and a good theme. I know I have done it myself, this theme. Of course, always remember to test your game. That's one important thing. What I haven't actually said much in these tutorials, but remember to test your game, because you're checking for bugs here and there. Because you don't want a game that don't work and then needing to keep updating it. So of course the game is really hard, and this is how you've stepped up instantly your difficulty. And also the graphics are not poor. Some games they probably wouldn't have these backgrounds on, and they'll just have the boring purple background in the background. So this style of gaming, the 2D gaming I call it on here, although it is all 2D, but this is more of a bird's eye view game. It's very effective. You could do it in any way you want, and it is a good way. And of course, you don't have to add the custom background, but it does add to the effect and how good your game is. On the next tutorial, I'll be going through how to make a 3D game using 3D skills. I'm going to be making a very basic jumping game. However, it will have a 3D effect on it. Anyway, until then, subscribe and press the like button. Oliver Eaton out.